Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this post-match press conference. We've got with us Samoan head coach Steve Jackson and captain Jack Lam. We're going to start this 15-minute post-match press conference. Please raise your hand and wait for the microphone before asking your question. Thank you very much. First question from the floor.
Sweet. That's us. Done.
Steve, I'll just give you a nice general, just your reflections on that game, and obviously with the tournament coming to an end, your reflections on the tournament, which I guess has been a bit up and down for you guys in various respects.
Yeah, look, as a tournament overall, pretty proud of the group. We've been through some trying times, and they never once dropped their head. They stuck together pretty hard, and look, we come across a really good Irish side tonight. But again, our ill discipline let us down. Another 20 minutes here in that game with only 14 men, but they spent just about the whole game with only 40 men. And look, they were really good at set piece time, and they scrum well, mauled extremely well, and tactically with a man down, they played really well. And look, they thoroughly deserved their victory tonight. And look, can't fault our guys' effort. They kept on trying. I think it was something like 86-14 possession and territory, and it was about 75-25 possession or something like that. So, you can't win games like that. But they starved you of the ball. They just showed that they're in the top two of the world.
Jack, Bundy spent a bit of time there in the pitch with you guys afterwards. Can you give us an idea of what was said? It seemed like there was no hard feelings anyway.
No hard feelings at all. I just said to him, look, you know how we feel. So, there was no hard feelings. He knew what he'd done. So. I'll just add on to that. Hopefully, it doesn't get ruined by him missing a couple of weeks out of the game. So hopefully, we get to see him in the finals.
Steve, can we just get your perspective on that decision and maybe the earlier one as well?
Yeah, look, I don't know if I should really comment on it. There's, again, it's the mitigating factors again, whether they drop and hide and all those sort of things come into play at the moment. And as you all know, it's sort of, the toss of a coin at the moment. But look, I think that Nick Berry refereed the game really well tonight. And I've known Bundy for a long, long time. And what a great man, and he's got great character, and he doesn't go out there to do that to anybody. And like Jack just said, hopefully the powers that be see some sense, and hopefully he gets to continue on in this tournament, because he's a great kid. He deserves it as much as most. And look, again, as we've seen, is any contact with the head, there's people have been penalised. We lost a couple of players, but as Jack said, look, I hope no further sanction comes to him, because, mate, I hope he can go further in this tournament and play. And we'll do everything that we possibly can from a Samoan perspective to make sure that he gets on that field next week. Again, look, people don't go out there to make head contact. And I think Joe said it again in a coach's briefing before the tournament started, that yes, we ended up with UJ and HIA, but there's more concussions that come from tackles around the knee and people getting kneed in the head. So look, again, Bundy's tackle, was there malice? No, there's just physical in the collisions, being a Samoan boy as well. So and likewise, with our tackle, there's always that mitigating factor about how low does someone go, and and again, look, the defenders have got to make a decision within a split second. If you look at Bundy's tackle again, UJ came with the ball at pace, and I think he only had about 2 or 3 metres to make a decision what sort of tackle type, and that's what they're asking the players to do now. Is in a split decision, you've got to make the right one, and what sort of tackle that you're going to make, which is, as we all know, is extremely difficult. But yeah, look, mate, I wish them all the best.
Jack, right after the game, you said that Japan have been awesome hosts. What have been some of the highlights for you and the team? Maybe not necessarily the rugby, but the stuff that takes place elsewhere around the tournament in terms of your interactions with local people. What are some of the good memories that you'll take with you?
Yeah, from the moment we set foot here in Japan, like our hosting cities like Iwaki, right up to Kumagaya, all the way through here. Everyone's been awesome. Right to the time we're at Fukuoka, everyone, from the staff, the whole city, just embracing the whole, all the countries that come through. And, can't say a bad thing about Japan. And, throughout the whole tournament, everyone in Japan have been welcoming. Boys love the food. We love to, eat, sit around, have a laugh, and they've all just been, as well, just been asking questions about our culture as well, which has, been quite similar, which has been awesome.
Steve, I just want to talk. You talk about being proud of the team. I just want to ask about the period before and after TJ went off, when defending on their own line for a long time and held out a very good side. You must have been pretty stoked with that effort.
Yeah,
at a time in the game when, the score was pretty out of hand already.
Yeah, look, and again, there's some moments in that game that they can be extremely proud of themselves. And I think it was about 2 minutes and 38 seconds that they defended on that line. And they worked, tirelessly. And again, when a team maintains possession, as Ireland did, it's extremely difficult. When you're defending for long phases, it's tiring. So yeah, proud. Yep, definitely. Just unfortunately that we couldn't get our hands on the ball enough and have a decent crack at their line. So yeah, look, I can't speak highly enough of some of our players within our group, and especially the man that's sitting beside me. Every day he wakes up and his body's wrecked, and he just manages to get himself out on the field again and again and again. And look, those are the little memories that we will remember as coaches when we leave this place.
ジャック・ラムさんにお伺いします。共同通信の篠と申します。なかなか代表としての準備期間が少ない中での大会でも、全力を尽くされたと思うんですけども、また4年後さらにサモアチームが良くなっていくために必要だと思う部分は、どのあたりにあるでしょうか。
Yeah, I hope things change, right from the top, allowing other players to play. I hope that one day that Samoa do and are able to compete with the top teams. But yeah, I can't think further ahead than what we're doing now. I don't know what next year will look like. Both me and Steve could be somewhere else. So hopefully, I do wish Samoa Rugby all the best.
Steve, I think it sounds like a similar question, but what needs to happen between now and France for things to be any different, and that you guys will be able to fulfil your potential that's so obviously there, and the commitment is so obviously there?
Yeah, look. Again, we just got to make sure that the players want to play for Samoa. We've got a group of guys that come over here, and they, I think they put the jersey before a piece of paper. And we just got to make sure that we change a lot of minds and persuade players that, look, this is a route that they need to go down, especially for the guys back, in the Pacific as well, and people in European clubs. We all know what goes on. I don't need to, talk about eligibility and availability and all that sort of stuff. And, all these things would be nice, but, you've hopefully some common sense in the next, 4 years. you know, we'll change some decisions that are made. And look, but we've got to look in our own backyard and start with a bit of development there. And we've got to capture those players before they actually get picked up by other nations, you know, and make sure that they're playing for Samoa and get that taste of the jersey. You know, and again, employing me for the next 4 years would be good. As I finish in November. There's a little plug. But yeah, look, you know, I mean, it's there. You know, the players are there. We all know that. With the various Pacific Island players playing throughout, you know, all the other nations. You know, there's plenty of good footballers there. And again, you know, we need to capture them early so that they become Samoan players only. Yeah.
We have time for 2 more questions. So first here and the last one in the back.
Just on that though, Steve, do you hope that World Rugby will help on that front? Because surely there's something they can do to help. You know, I mean, certainly it shouldn't be a situation. I know it is a situation, but it shouldn't be a situation where players are having to choose between their club contracts and playing in a World Cup. It shouldn't happen, should it? But it has happened. You know, Jack spoke so well about that yesterday. You know.
Yeah, look, you know, it shouldn't happen, but it does happen. And there's rules and regulations to the, you know, teams to release their players. But again, you know, it's he say, she say. You know, you just don't know. World Rugby can't control that, and neither can we. You know, there's pressure coming from all corners on a player who's, you know, trying to feed his family and put a roof over their heads. You know, so it's a difficult decision. You know, it's their livelihood, and I can fully understand that. How do you go about that? I'm not too sure. I really don't know. I don't have the answers. But again, you know, we can only look at what we can control, and you know, and again, that's trying to persuade them and you know, and develop in our own backyard and make sure whether we capture those players. So, you know, then hopefully, you know, would have been good if we were a little bit more successful at this tournament. That probably would have turned a few more heads. But you know, there's a bunch of players, and you know, especially at a younger age, you know, people don't. You know, especially our guys don't really go to Europe and that until later on after they've played Super Rugby and things like that. And then, you know, so we need to capture them at an earlier age and really start to develop them there. So, look, you know, I just think, you know, hopefully some common sense around, you know, and I've said it before, look, you know, they've got to play 4 sevens tournaments, you know, if they've played for another international team, and if you've got dual eligibility, that's your only pathway through. But certainly doesn't make sense to me if you can go and play sevens for that country and you've got to play 4 tournaments, you're still playing for that country, are you? So, look, there's a whole bunch of things that we could probably write down, but, you know, hopefully after this tournament, you know, there'll be a host of things that they'll sit around the table, hopefully, and look at what does the next 4 years look like heading into France, and what does a playing field look like? You know, what are the test matches that, you know, ourselves and Tonga and Fiji are going to get in the next 4 years, you know, to make sure that we're actually playing against the best teams in the world. You know, we have a Pacific Nations Cup, and, you know, that's a great tournament for us, but then normally on a Northern Hemisphere tour, you know, we're just playing Tier 2 nations. So, again, you know, to be able to compete with the best, you've got to be playing the best, you know, and that develops world-class players. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Last question in the back.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned how Ireland scrummed and mauled well. It's easy to say in hindsight, but do you think when they got that red card, they stepped their intensity up a bit? That's what it looked like from the side. Yeah,
they went to an extremely good 10-man rugby, didn't they? You know, their forwards took control, and defensively they rushed the line speed and put a lot of pressure on us when we had the ball. And pretty smart the way that they just took control of that game, knowing that they went down to 14 men. But, you know, again, for us, ill-discipline, and we ended up going 14 men and matched them, you know, which is, you know, frustrating. But, look, again, they played extremely well, and they moved the ball well. They played with some width at times when they had 15 men, you know, and even then they started to look pretty dangerous. But again, look, we were pretty confident coming out at half-time, you know, but, you know, once again, I think, I don't know what the penalty count was, but we gave away too many penalties. There was, you know, opportunities there inside their 22, and we give a penalty away. You know, they kick it out, and then another penalty, and within 30 seconds, we're defending the line out more 5 metres out from our own line. So, you know, we'll just got to be better than that when we come together in the future. But again, look, you know, Joe and his team did an extremely good job tonight, and you know, they fully deserve their 5 points and their opportunity to play in the quarterfinal next week. And you know, from us, we wish them all the best, and wish all the teams, especially in our pool, all the best, and hopefully one of them can go further, and we can say that we lost to the winner.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much. We're going to be following next with Ireland press conference.
Thank you.